Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about my favorite songs of all time. This is something that I feel like I've wanted to do for a long while, but this point in my life right now, I feel like it's a pretty good time to talk about it. A couple things before we get started. I kind of put a couple of rules for myself. This video, I'm going to be going over 20 songs. If you guys like this, then I'll probably do a part 2, because I have another 20 songs ready. But right now, I'm just going to do 20, because that's already a lot to talk about. Also, I limited myself to one song per artist. I don't want my entire list to just be like Black Country New Road, and that's it. This isn't a list that's in any particular order, either. There is one song that is in a particular order, which I'll get to, and I mean, another thing, this list could change any time or second or, minute. If anything, I kind of want this video to just serve as, like, a little list to y'all, just to be like, hey, if you haven't heard one of these songs or something, maybe give it a shot. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe you won't, but, this is all just my opinion, of course. So with that being said, let's get started. The first song up here we got is Fractions of Infinity by Quadeca. So, to give some context, I checked out a little bit of I Didn't Mean to Haunt You kind of around when it came out, and I wasn't feeling it at the time, so I put it off. Then later, I forgot where I heard this song. I think I just heard a clip of it somewhere, and I was like, whoa, that sounds pretty cool. And so, I listened to that song in full, and I'm like, dude, this song is such a freaking trip. And in the context of I Didn't Mean to Haunt You as well, it hits so much harder. I think Quadeca hits a very specific emotion with this song perfectly. With the auto-tune vocals, which, by the way, I'm kind of hit or miss with the auto-tune vocals, but the auto-tune vocals that he does use in this song, super duper good. He's just a good singer in general, too. But those vocals mixed with just the beautiful sound palette, just the very twinkly synths, the amazing feature from Sunday Service Choir at the end there. Those words don't do you justice. Such just a beautiful sound, and it's a song that from front to back, I can genuinely just completely get lost in. It kind of gives off a Radiohead vibe to some degree, maybe like a little bit, and that's weird because no other Quadeca song that I can think of sounds like Radiohead in any way. I think my favorite part of the song is actually this little vocal run in the second verse.
Been afraid of nothing for so long, that's why I'm stuck with it, but nothing is gonna change until I change what nothing is in it.
I love how the instrumental pauses there and gets really minimal. It's super duper cool. And it also makes a lot of sense with the lyrics there, because the lyrics are, I've been afraid of nothing for so long, that's why I'm stuck with it, but nothing is gonna change until I change what nothing is, and it's Fractions of Infinity. It's such a cool little run. I think that's all I have to say about that song, but it's definitely my favorite Quadeca song. Again, all of I Didn't Mean to Haunt You is so good, but man, that song hits the spot. Okay, song number 2 here, Chocolate Matter by Sweet Trip. This is a song that I've praised before. I did a Velocity Design Comfort review a little while ago, and I said it there, that it's one of my favorite songs of all time, probably. And it still is one of my favorite songs of all time, probably. It's just the definition of a really good shoegaze song. It's not the most instantly unique song on Velocity Design Comfort, but it's one of the most instantaneously emotional and catchy, vibey ones. It really is a mind-blowing track in just terms of how satisfying it is to me. The vocal melodies, the octave harmonies, I love the super distorted breakdowns. God, that shit goes so hard. Just a beautiful song that really stuck with me ever since I first heard it. I mean, that whole album stuck with me, but it's definitely one of my most replayed songs, probably. Yeah. It's beautifully melancholic. Kinda. Maybe. Would you guys agree? I don't know. I kinda think so. Okay, this one's a bit of an interesting one because it's a very recent discovery. I've been in kind of a Midwest emo phase recently for some reason. I don't know why. Like bands like Prince Daddy, The World is a Beautiful Place, Death Cab, Home Was Where, Nouns, all of those bands. I've been kind of into that whole thing. This song is possibly the best Midwest emo song I've ever heard. Possibly. It's on the album Masked Dancers, and it's the final song. And the first half of the song is pretty similar to what the album has been sounding like. What really gets me is the second half. It completely cuts out in terms of percussion, and it just turns into this guitar ballad with these really swirly, drony synths. I really like the songs that have a nostalgic feeling, or maybe just a very otherworldly feeling to them. You'll probably see that a lot on this list. And that part of that song is exactly what that makes me feel. I love the lyrics too. I don't know. I'll play a clip here.
Run on highways, I should run on highways. Road towards the exit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The vocals, they're definitely not for everyone. I've heard people say that they don't like the vocals to Brave Little Abacus, and that's totally understandable. I can see how it can be a little whiny to some people, but I don't know. I like that sort of thing. It feels just youthful. It feels also existential at the same time. One of the more existential Midwest emo bands, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know. If you like, pop punk, Midwest emo, all that sort of stuff, I recommend it.
Good morning. Show me the place where he inserted the blade.
Okay, y'all knew this was coming. Is this any sort of surprise at all? It really was a tough decision to figure out what my favorite Black Country song is, because there's so many songs that could take this spot. I mean, Science Fair, Sunglasses, Basketball Shoes, Turbines, all of those. But this is the one that always hits me in the core. This whole album has emotions cranked to the absolute maximum, and this song feels like the peak of that. Maybe outside of Basketball Shoes, but it's just everything. Like, everything about it. The vocal performance, the fucking piano is so goddamn beautiful. The gang vocal section at the end that feels super cathartic. It hits all of the emotions, but it sticks in your brain, Isaac is just such a special songwriter to me. His just emotion is unmatched in so many ways, just because it feels so goddamn real. It feels like you were being put in his shoes with this song. It feels like you're being stabbed with that blade, I love that ending so much. For some reason, those ba-das, like at the end, work so well. I don't know why. I have it on video. The first time I heard this song, I cried. Oh my god. That was so good. That was so good. So good. Jesus fuck. It's a song that over time has only meant even more to me, just as a personal thing. And yeah, it really is such a beautiful expression of emotion, and so instrumentally tight and well put together. All around, just one of my favorite songs ever, for sure.
If only I could sustain my anger.
Oh god, okay. This is an interesting one, because this is a big band for a lot of people, right? Car Seat Headrest, The Ballad of Costa Concordia, is the song I picked. And it was such a war in my on which Car Seat Headrest song I wanted to pick. I mean, so many fucking other songs could go here. Beach Life and Death, so much stuff off of How to Leave Town, honestly. Beast Monster Thing, Hey Space Cadet, that song's beautiful. But I think the thing that really does it for me with this song is just the build and the progression. It starts from ground zero and gets to fucking 1000%. It does not hold back when it gets to its highs, and it also doesn't hold back when it's at its lowest. Even when it's at its lowest, it translates so well. I love the talking portion where he's like, I never learned how to ride a bike. How did you expect me to get to school? I forgot what he actually says there, but it's something like that. Another one of my favorite parts of the song is, it gets to the I give up. up. I'm gonna play that shit right now. And then this part happens. Yeah, I could jam to that song all day. And I mean, even with that, it's pretty damn emotional too. I mean, these fucking lyrics, I used to like the mornings, I'd survive another night. Now I wake up in the mornings, all the kindness is drained out of me. I spend hours just wincing. It's such a patient intro, and it just works so well, especially with the context. Yeah, I mean, again, I could keep ranting forever, but I love that song. The one thing that pisses me off about this song, and just Teens of Denial in general, is why is this song not the second to last song? Connect the Dots, great song. I love that song. But why is it after this song? Because Joe Goes to School is an epilogue, right? But this feels like the climax. Like, I don't know if anyone else feels that way. Let me know if y'all do. It's like putting Basketball Shoes, the 6th place in the track list. It just doesn't work. Well, I don't know if it's as bad as that, but you get what I mean. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. Next up here, we have A Different Age by Current Joys. I've had the opportunity a little bit to express my love for Current Joys, but with this song, this is one of the most impactful songs I've ever heard. There are some sad-ass songs that I love. This is up there with the saddest shit I've ever heard. Nick Radigan, which is the one person behind Current Joys, just one person. His sound is developed in kind of an interesting way. He made like nostalgic sort of indie songs earlier in his career, which I love, but he started to develop his sound a little bit more into these really emotional, kind of like bare bones ideas, starting with the album Me Oh My Mirror, and kind of reaching a climax with that sound on the album A Different Age. Sitting and listening to this song at like 2 a.m. in the morning and reading along with these lyrics, it is soul crushing. It just puts you in a different state. The thing that I just love about Nick Radigan's music is he puts so much goddamn passion into what he's fucking singing. Especially if you look up live videos, I mean, like, you could tell, man, he's been through some stuff and he's just getting that emotion out. With the actual, like, instrumentation in this track, again, it's very minimal, but it's one of those songs that starts from just nothing and gets just so grand and expansive and just hard-hitting by the end of it.
'Cause I believe in a different age. This song is a joke, and the melody are wrong.
This ending right here, it still has a very raw and DIY sound to it, but I'd honestly like that more about it. I like that it's super kind of rough around the edges, but still it's put together with care, you can tell. And I just love the lyrics. The line, "You can't hear me because I sing to a different age," I love that. It sounds like he's just screaming out into the void. And it really does warrant being the title track on this album, because it feels like just the pinnacle of everything this album is like talking about, building up to. It just really hits me in the feels, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It really gets to me. Yeah.
In the deepest ocean, the bottom of the sea.
Okay, now we get to a little bit more of, I feel like, an obvious one. Radiohead was one of the first bands that I really considered to be one of my favorite bands ever. It was Pink Floyd, then Queens of the Stone Age, then Radiohead. That was like my progression through my early high school years. And yeah, when I loved Radiohead, I loved Radiohead. And again, it's another one of those bands that it's just so tough to pick an absolute number one favorite. And I still don't even know if I like 100% made the right choice, but as of right now, I'm feeling Weird Fishes. I mean, so many people have already talked about this song and why it's one of the best songs in the Radiohead catalog, but yeah, man, it is just a dream. It feels like you're just being transported into a dream. It feels like you're in a completely different universe. It feels like you're stuck in like a point in time. It feels like a lot of things. It gives you a lot of emotions. The guitar arpeggios, the way both of them bounce off of each other is beautiful. Tom York sounds amazing, as he does on all of In Rainbows. That bass is so goddamn good. Perfectly syncopated, but also a little bit different than what you'd expect. I mean, just, it's such a beautiful sound. And I mean, the ending here, the switch up, this shit right here.
Eaten by the worms and wet fishes.
Radiohead in general, you know, super highly critically acclaimed. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking warranted. Like, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Everyone, it seems, has somewhere to go.
Here we are, Queens of the Stone Age. This is the song that sounds least like Queens of the Stone Age in all of Queens of the Stone Age's career. I feel like, right? I mean, okay, this is the last song on Like Clockwork. That's the title track, right? Another album that I just absolutely love with all my heart. But this album closer, it's another really heavy song emotionally. The background surrounding this album too, Josh, I know he almost died or something. He woke up and he was like, holy shit, I almost died, and then pretty much wrote this album. I'm pretty sure that's kind of the deal. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's kind of what happened. Yeah, and I mean, it's the piano ballads of all piano ballads. It's really unique for them, and it's just so powerful as a closer. It is so powerful. It leaves you just chills, jaw dropped, and something that I would feel like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't put here. Again, Queens of the Stone Age, a lot of songs could go in this spot, but this one, it's just so unique and so heartfelt and so potent.
Most of what you see, my dear, is purely for show. Not everything that goes around comes back around, you know.
Man, and I love the way it picks up here at the end, too. I love these... Another song where I just absolutely love the lyrics. Most of what you see, my dear, is purely for show, because not everything that goes around comes back around, you know? Holding on too long is just a fear of letting go. I love the line, oh my god. The deeper in the water, the more I long for you. Oh my god. It's poetry. It's just, ugh. It stings, man. Okay, I am so excited to talk about this one. So, for y'all that don't know, I'm pretty active on the site Album of the Year. It's the site where I find just a lot of music. I find it to be really fun. I don't take it too seriously, and it's just, you get to hear a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't, you know, find, I feel like. And on this website, it, like, ranks albums, you know, from, like, number 1 to whatever, best albums of the year. And this album is number 1 of the year, at least right now. It may or may not stay, I don't know. But seeing it got number 1, I'm like, okay, I've never heard of this artist before, I'll check it out. And this is someone that, I don't know if they still use the site, but they used to use the site. Someone who was using the site made this album, and it is absolutely jaw-dropping. The whole album is just such a trip, and it's so good, but this song is so, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Any of you post-rock fans out there, shoegaze fans, whatever, you gotta hear this. And it's such an underrated artist. I think they have like 3,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Like, go show them some love. I can only aspire to do shit like this. It's 12 minutes long, this song. It creates one of the most just vivid, beautiful atmospheres. It feels like I'm floating in the fucking clouds. And oh my god, not even to mention the build and the drop. Ugh, I just need to play a little bit here. You know what? Okay, I have a really accurate description to describe the song. It feels like laying in the middle of the forest, just on the grass, just laying in the middle of the forest. A really, really pretty sky, really pretty clouds. You're just sitting there digesting everything. You know, that's what it feels like. That might be the most hippie thing I've ever said, but it's true. Like, hold on, let me just play a clip here. It's so beautiful. Violins, and then skip forward a bit and the vocals come in. Hits my soul. You know, it does remind me a bit of the microphones with the nylon string stuff, but then you get to the ending here and it totally picks up. Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah, ever since I first heard this album and that song, it has literally been on repeat. And that was like a few days ago, and I would consider that song to be one of my favorite songs. That's how much I'm impressed by it, and that's how much I love it. I don't think I've ever heard anything like that song before, and it just puts me in a place that not many songs have ever done. I love music. This shit reminds me why I love music. It is just so goddamn impactful, beautiful. I hope more people discover this artist. Call me super impressed. You'll probably be seeing this album very, very, very high on my end year list whenever that comes around. Grace by Jeff Buckley. Oh yeah, Jeff Buckley has to be on here. Grace, another one of my all-time favorites, and again, it's hard to pick a single song from that album alone, but I love this song for just so many reasons. First thing I have to talk about, I think, is just Jeff's vocals. I genuinely consider him to be one of my favorite vocalists ever. It's just, he's so fucking talented. He hits notes so high, and he hits them with so much confidence and so much flavor and technique. He has that technique, he has that vocal strength, he has that charisma in him. It's just, it's all there, it's all locked in, it's all honed in on the song, especially during the ending. Right here. That shit is so impressive. Holy fuck. Not only that, the song's super catchy. I love the rain in the fire, rain in the fire. I love that part. That main riff, especially the one that opens the song. Such a cool riff. Really interesting use of chords, too. Again, anyone who's heard this album, I totally understand, like, you know, if you'd put a different song above this one, because there's so many good songs on that album. Again, it's one of my all-time favorites. This is the one that came to mind first when I was thinking of a song for this list. And yeah, Jeff, taken too soon, man. Like, genuinely. I such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artist, and such a passionate songwriter, and you just feel it 10 times over on this album. A lot of the songs on this list I picked because they have a really strong emotional potency. This is one of the songs that just sounds so goddamn amazing that I can't not have it on here. We're talking about Come In Alone by My Bloody Valentine. And I feel like this is an underrated cut on this album. I think the thing that really gets me with this song is, one, it's just instant euphoria. Like, the second you hit play and everything comes in, it's just, you're just blown back into your seat, and you're just fucking on drugs. Not only that, but I really think the progression to this song is so satisfying, especially the riff. I'm gonna show you what riff I'm talking about. This riff right here. I think they use a whammy bar or some sort of detuning pedal or something. You know? But that tickles my brain in the best way. Like, it is just so cool to me. Like, it gets stuck in my head, just that little riff. It's really, really cool. And those vocals on top of the entire song are just angelic. I love how, with My Bloody Valentine in general, the vocals just feel like another instrument, you know? It's not necessarily something that strikes you as, I'll remember these lyrics, because you will not remember these lyrics. But what you will remember is how goddamn beautiful they are, and how well they mix in with everything else. The drums hit, the bass is awesome, it fills in that low end super nicely. The main synth arpeggio is just otherworldly. Yeah, so much praise to that song. I really think it's an underrated cut on Loveless. Going back to my roots in discovering music, Dogs by Pink Floyd. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but they're one of the first bands that got me into music, and I think my progression in hearing the albums were like, it was Dark Side, then it was The Wall, then it was Wish You Were Here, and then it was Animals. For the longest time, I've been debating on what my favorite Pink Floyd album is, but I think it's actually Animals. And this song is so impressive on every level. It's a classic. It really, at this point, 100% a classic. 70s, you know? I mean, it's so impressive for the time period. It's so innovative. This whole album is kind of like a political thing, right? It talks about people in certain places. And I really love when thinking about that, this lyric right here. You have to be trusted by the people that you lie to, so that when they turn their backs on you, you'll get the chance to put the knife in. That shit hits. Dual guitar solo right here. Again, it's just so impressive, and I mean, this goes for the whole album. It's so impressive with these longer songs, just how much they captivate you. For being a 16-minute song, it doesn't skip a beat. It feels so fluid, it feels so natural, it feels like all the parts just fit. I love this weird, like, detuned, like, spacey part here with that synth. To me, it's one of the best opuses of their career. I just really like what they were doing with Animals. Pigs is probably a close second, honestly, out of everything Pink Floyd. I honestly think Pigs is right underneath Dogs. But yeah, I mean, that's more of like a classic one, and more of a throwback to me personally, just because that was like what I was getting into when discovering music, but it still holds up for me.
You spent the first 5 years trying to get with the plan, and the next 5 years trying to be with your friends again.
Oh yeah, here's a big one. This one I would actually put higher on the favorite songs list if I had it ranked. So when talking about emotional potency, LCD Soundsystem is a band that does it in such a relatable, kind of funny every now and then, and unique to them way that strikes me pretty hard. I mean, on songs like Home, Dance Yourself Clean, but the climax of all of that to me is this song, All My Friends. I remember the first time I heard the song, I had it on repeat for so long. I would go on walks listening to this song. I would jam out listening to this song. I'd feel extremely emotional when listening to this song a lot of the time because the lyrics hit so hard. The instrumental itself, I can see why people might hear it and be like, okay, it gets way too repetitive. I don't mind repetitiveness all the time. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. In this case, I just think the whole build of the song and what it's talking about and everything, it all meshes in such an impactful way. Seriously. Every single fucking line in this song, lyrically, is a standout line. Like, let me just read a few to you, just to get a bit of a perspective here. And if the sun comes up and I still don't want to stagger home, then it's the memories of our betters that are keeping us on our feet. You spent the first 5 years trying to get with the plan and the next 5 years trying to be with your friends again. This line right here, this is a tattoo-worthy line. I wouldn't trade one stupid decision for another 5 years of life. The way he sings it too, it really just feels like it comes from that heart. It feels like it's just him pouring this out. It feels personal, but just so relatable. It's one of the most relatable emotional songs that I've heard. Just cause like that line, you know, I wouldn't trade one stupid decision for another 5 years of life. Even through the mistakes of life, you just keep going, you know, and sometimes those mistakes, you look back on it and you're like, you know, that was a part of my life that I don't regret. People are meant to make mistakes. No one's perfect, right? It's just a beautiful sentiment, and it's just such a beautiful song overall. Feels like you're dancing your problems away. I don't know. It's a very special song to me just because it was there for me in some harder parts of my life. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna move on, but yeah.
If I can't keep myself from speaking,
this is like possibly the best pop punk song I've ever heard in my life. If you even want to call it pop punk, I don't know. It's a song that has a lot of social commentary, but it also has a lot of personal commentary. It feels like you're just trying your best to keep yourself from exploding, trying to deal with the world, you're trying to figure out everything, you're trying to understand society. It feels like the climax of the entire album. I really do think album context matters a lot for these songs. I mean, not all of the time, but yeah, just for a lot of these, I kind of think about that. The lyrics really make you think, and they also just strike a chord. Here's some of the lyrics. Don't kid yourself, don't tell yourself that you're not evil, because they're cheering you on like you've never done wrong. Don't you pretend the world is treating us all equal. When a person can starve as another one hops in a Lyft Plus to JFK, to Europe expensive paid. I know it's not okay, but I still participate. It's just like that war in his mind feels like with that kind of sentence right there. How hard can you go and how long can you sustain it when the force that fights back doesn't ever relax? Oh, this line too. This is the chorus bit. If I can't keep myself from speaking loud, where am I gonna fit into the real world? And this line too. This is another one of those lines. You know, it's 5 words, but stay young until you die. That is a sentiment I would like to live by. I love that about it, but I mean also the instrumental. It's super catchy. It feels straight from the heart. It's just so like, ugh. And then there's this instrumental bit right here, which goes fucking hard as shit. And the ending, oh, it just hits that emotion. And you can't help me anymore, that's the lyric.
You can't help me anymore.
It is perfect as an album closer, in my opinion. Out of everything Jeff Rosenstock's done, I mean, I love his music. I love all of his albums, really. I don't think he has a bad album at all. But out of everything he's done, this just feels like the biggest statement. It feels like the biggest just push forward, push back at all this.
These days of candy,
Alright, this next one here is another one I can put into the more just beautiful in terms of its sound. Days of Candy by Beach House. I love Beach House so much. Depression Cherry is my favorite Beach House album, and this is the last song on it. Beach House just nails it. They just nail the feel, they nail the sound. Even though it's subtle all the time, it's so beautiful and so captivating with every note change and arpeggio. I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. Like, just listen to this.
just like that,
It's hard to press the pause button when listening to that song, because it is just, oh my god, it's trance, instant euphoria. The soundscape is just so unheard of. I genuinely can't think of another dream pop band that I like more than Beach House. Beach House and My Bloody Valentine are kind of in the same realm in terms of wow. Like, how is this real? How did people make sounds that sound like this? I honestly feel like I should have more to say about that one, but I don't think I do. I feel like it kind of does speak for itself in a lot of ways. Oh no, guys. Oh no. This is gonna be such a hard one to talk about. 2 by the Antlers. Yeah, this is one of the saddest things I've ever heard. This album, Hospice, one of the saddest things ever. Besides A Crow Looked at Me, and maybe like Death Consciousness. This one. Literally, I played just like a small clip of it, and I already started almost tearing up. It's just so heavy. The trouble I have with this album is it sounds so goddamn good, but I can't go back to it without fucking losing my shit. I can't. It is so hard to get through this album without crying or just feeling so much emotion. But at the same time, that is exactly why this song is here. It is such a intense and vivid, heart-wrenching display of emotion. It feels like you're being stabbed in the heart. And to the people that haven't heard the Antlers or Hospice or anything, they're probably like, why, what is so emotional about this song? This album is about a dying hospice patient, and it's about a love connection between, I believe, one of the people working there and the patient, and they kind of have like a toxic relationship, I think. I know some people are hit and miss with this album in terms of the sound. I like the way the vocals are mixed. I love the way the vocals sound on this song. They have so much emotion. He sounds like he's about to cry every line he speaks. The instruments are just so breathtaking. I'm gonna play a clip, and I really hope I don't start tearing up. I don't want to. Fuck, dude. I can't do this right now. Y'all, I knew it was gonna happen too. I have to stop listening to it, or I'm gonna lose my shit. Read the lyrics and listen to the fucking song, and you'll see what I mean. If you haven't heard this song, and you're like, what you're a little bitch, you're a little baby. Like, okay, maybe I am, but it's a very, very hard topic. I think I have to move on, but it's one of my 10 out of 10 albums. It is one of my 10 out of 10 albums.
Oh no, I need you so much closer.
This next one is Transatlanticism by Death Cab for Cutie. I've grown up always liking Death Cab. I always heard songs like I Will Possess Your Heart and Soul Meets Body and stuff like that on the radio or just around. I think my dad really likes Death Cab. So, I've always liked them to some degree. I've listened to Transatlanticism before. I listened to it a while ago. But recently, maybe a month ago-ish, I listened to Transatlanticism again. And it clicked 10 times harder. I'm talking about the album, but the magnum opus on this fucking album is the title track. It puts distance in a relationship into words and into a song and into feelings so perfectly. The whole album feels like a breakup in terms of just that like really sad, gut-wrenching feeling. The piano here is beautiful. Ben Gibbard, I love Ben Gibbard as a vocalist. I love him also in the Postal Service. The line, I need you so much closer, is sung with such a desperate feeling.
I need you so much closer.
Everything sounds so lush too. The build, it's such a slow build, but it pays off in tons, especially with this line right here. Yeah, I mean, it's a song with a fantastic build, with a great transition into the next song, by the way, and the song before it. But yeah, just the whole way this song flows, the way it fits, feels like the climax. I love those guitars. The production's fucking amazing. Makes me want to give Ben Gibbard a hug. Yeah. Okay, yes. Yeah, this song. I made a post about this song on the community tabs or whatever a few months ago, just gushing about how impressed and insanely impacted I was by this song. I stumbled upon the music video for it just one night randomly, and I was just sitting there like... I remember just feeling so much goddamn emotion. And so, it's 10 minutes, another like opus sort of song. I love those long songs, especially when they really translate that feel. It starts out super minimal with just the two guitars and then the vocals. This song lyrically, it just feels like a distaste in the world, maybe in himself, or maybe in a relationship. It could be a lot about a lot of that stuff, but then that instrumental outro, it all feels like such a release. Playing a clip of it here does not do it justice, I will tell you that, but I'll show you a little bit. It is one of the best instrumental outros I've ever heard in my life. How do they do it? Like, how do you build a song that well? It just, like, every time you think it stops getting better, it just keeps getting better. That instrumental outro is like 5 minutes long, and you'd expect it to get dull, you'd expect it to get boring. But no, it starts, pretty energetic, but then it just keeps fucking going to like a length that you wouldn't think that is actually possible. I know I'm geeking out right now, but like I love music. I love music. And the vocals here in the beginning are beautiful too. I'll play a section.
I don't feel alright. Nothing is pure.
I heard this song and it made me want to listen to the whole album. Great album. I also listened to another Mew album. Mew's good band. Good band. But that song is unbeatable in their catalog, in my opinion. Okay, last two songs. I kind of cheated. I'm sorry, I had to. You'll understand in a minute. Kill me if you want in the comments. I don't know. The next two songs are by the same artist, but they're under different names. Phil Elverum. I've gushed about him so much in past videos and just in my life. He's my favorite songwriter probably ever. Through the Trees by Mount Eerie. The reason why this is my number one Mount Eerie song, because I feel like some people would go to like A Crow Looks at Me, which again is one of the saddest albums ever made, and I love that album, but it's just so fucking sad. This was a lot earlier. This was on the album Wind's Poem, and it's when his songwriting was geared towards nature, which I mean, I wouldn't say he moved away from that, but it's just extremely potent on some of his earlier Mount Eerie work, and this song is the prime example of that, I feel like, because I'm a huge nature person in general. I love nature, I love the outdoors, I love the woods. This song puts me in that place. It's not the most lyrically mind-blowing song, it's not the most whoa, you know, it's just a song that puts me at this eternal state of peace. This synth drone right here, those chord changes are so satisfying. I'll play a little bit more, but I want to say the first time I heard this song, I was so overwhelmed with emotion. And the thing is, like, it's not a song that, when you look at the lyrics, it's from up on the hill, I can see the lights of town through the trees, there's wind, only wind. I mean, I do really like the lyrics, but it's, again, you look at the lyrics and it's not like it's the most insane thing ever. But when I hear those chords, when I hear those specific pads, those synths, it's just so calming. It is so peaceful. Drums will pick up a little bit. Very droney. It's kind of like a post-rock song. It's kind of slow. It may take you a minute, but it is one of my favorite Phil Elverum songs because it transports me to somewhere I didn't even know I could go to. If I'm ever anxious, I listen to that song and it just does it for me. And again, I can totally understand why someone who knows Mount Eerie wouldn't put it, you know, where I put it, but I really feel that song. Okay, you guys, every song here, it's one of my favorite songs, yes. But I saved this one for last because this is my favorite song. This actually is my favorite song ever. I gave you a hint at what it is. It's by Phil Elverum, but he's under a different name. Let me just show you.
I drove up to the city and found the place where you were. I stayed and walked around and stayed up late.
The Moon by the Microphones is my favorite song of all time. Not only to mention that, but The Glow Part 2, this album, is my favorite album of all time as well. But yeah, this song, it's a mix of everything that I've been talking about. That instant euphoria you get with a song, you know, from My Bloody Valentine or Beach House, and then it's also a mix of the absolute pure and just crushing emotion of some of my other favorite songs of all time. This song has been there for me in the roughest parts of my life. It's been there for the best parts of my life. It is something that I hold so near and dear to my heart. Y'all are gonna call me insane for this shit, but I think I've listened to this song over 400 times. I know, I'm fucking crazy, okay? I get it. The story this album tells is something I want to talk about at some point. I've been, for a long time, been thinking about making an entire video on The Glow Part 2, but I just want to do it justice, and I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. I don't know. It may or may not happen, but at least I can express my love for this song here. In the context of the album, it follows along with the story beautifully, but on its own, it's such a relatable thing, a hard-hitting topic. Through this song, I kind of see the lyrics as Phil, or this character that he's portraying in this album, he's going back into a very, very specific memory, or memories in his life with this person, with this relationship, and he looks back on it. It's a very hard thing for him, because this whole album is kind of talking about existentialism, it's talking about relationships, it's talking about breakups. I could talk about for days about the fucking concept, but it's almost a realization in some ways, and it all connects back to the moon. And I think the moon represents kind of just how small this character, or Phil, in this scenario feels. All of that combined, I know I could sound like a fucking crazy person right now, but all of that combined, it's something I heavily relate to. I am an existential person. I think about that a lot. There's some stuff in my life that I've been through, and it just with its lyrics, with its words, and with its sound, just all hits every part of me. Starting off with just this beautiful plucked guitar here, and then you get to this part. One of the most euphoric things I've ever heard in my life.
I drove up to the city and found a place where you were. I went out to feel alone. I went back to turn the lights in the tower.
God, I love this song so much. It's one of those things where I totally get if someone heard this and was like, not for me. I totally get it. I totally get it. It's something where you hear it and you're like, why? Why is this your favorite song? It just connects. It's just something that I almost just can't explain. It's just a feeling that hits me, unlike anything I've ever heard. Horns in this song, the fucking... Are they just pads? I think they're just pads. Synths of some sort. They are the most euphoric sounding synths I've ever heard in my life. The drums are super distorted and super cool. Just such a reflection on memory. And I find memory in general in life to be such just an important thing. Like, who are we without our memories, you know? God, I'm ranting. I know I'm ranting. I'm going off. I'm going crazy. But I love this song so much. I highly recommend just anyone who hasn't heard it to just give it a shot. Even if you don't like it, again, I totally get it. It's not for everyone, but it's my favorite song off my favorite album. And yeah, is there anything else I should say? I don't know. I could probably talk about it for fucking hours, honestly. But yeah, that'll be it. That's it for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, I can do a part 2. I have more songs lined up. Just let me know if you liked it. And yeah, I totally can. I really enjoyed doing this. It's fun to talk about stuff. And again, I hope for anyone who's looking for new music or bands or anything, I hope this helped. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.